Hello, hello, hello. Welcome back to Let's Play Virtue's Last Reward. What am I playing again? Virtue's Last Reward. Last time we got out of the cube room after I had a massive derp, but it's okay, it's okay.
We should get back to the Floor A warehouse then.
Hey, wait. Did you guys hear something? What? It came from over there. Sounds like something turned on. I told you. The screen wasn't on before.
You're right. Guess it was set to turn on when we opened the door.
It looks like an authentication screen. I think we need to put in an ID and a password.
Crap!
Yeah, but what?
I noticed the illustration. The lion is eating the sun. Memento mori. Remember death. If the lion ate the sun. I forgot about all of those. Of course, this was the real ninth lion. But that was the case. Yeah, that's Kawakami or something. Because I remember there was another set of password stuff that I never actually typed in. I'll have to go pick up real quick. Okay, just let me go to the... I don't need a failure screen, I just need to go back and look. Wow, we're right at the end. Okay, so... if you find the two-headed lion, which I did not... if you find the two-headed lion, which I did not... old woman's ID card. There's one of the two. Kurashiki. Okay. So that's one of the two. Kurashiki. Okay. And then... where's the other one? I feel like I've looked everywhere already. Not further up this path, is it? We planted the bomb. Yep, there's number 2. Did I look at Clover? Oh, Clover actually is the one ending that doesn't tell me anything. I looked at K. There's two-headed lion. I need one-headed lion. And then there's Alice again. Huh. Where the heckin' heck? There's the old one's ID card. Like, I could start and looking into like the areas I haven't been yet, but I feel very strongly that I have actually seen a password that I never used. Jumpstart, interesting. I had not noticed that it actually is called Jumpstart. No. Well, guys, I'll be back because I do not see where it wants me to go right now. I've got Kirishiki, but I need the passcode. Where is Clover? I just can't help but notice that Clover does not have anything. Whatever. I'll see you in a second. I am a dum-dum again! Looking all over for where I picked up the password, and they were both in the same place. Nyarg. Nyarg, 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 nyarg. Okay, Jumpydoll. Which again also goes into the whole having a picture of a Kane thing. Because that's almost definitely a reference to Junpei. But okay. Okay, so Kurashiki, Jumpydoll. There we go.
Sigma, look!
Oh yeah, that's the thing that Zero showed up on. Now that we know that she and someone else are effectively Zero Senior.
Yeah. Akane.
That's not Akane.
Her name is Akane Kurashiki.
I thought that was Akane's mom.
They've been looking for her for a very long time.
He walked towards her. Slowly, carefully, almost if he was afraid of scaring her, he reached out.
She's a hologram.
Like, obviously she's a hologram, but I do have to wonder about Tenmyoji. Like, if you thought that she might be real, why did you immediately try and grope her? So she squeezed his eyes shut.
Akane.
This doesn't make any sense. He closed his hand around empty air and let it fall to his side. There was a moment of sad silence, and then she began to speak.
I see you finally arrived.
Dude, shut up!
I've been waiting for you. Well, I suppose that's slightly inaccurate. What you see now is a holographic message I recorded before you came here. Unfortunately, this means I will not be able to answer your questions, at least not directly. I hope you will understand.
I mean, it is kind of hard to be mad at a corpse.
Now, where to begin?
I suggest the beginning.
You probably have a great many questions. What day is it?
Okay, for a second I was like, Friday? At least when this thing goes live, it'll be Friday. I'm recording it on Thursday, but you know.
Where are we? Who is Zero? And what does he have to do with Akane Kurashiki?
That is an excellent question.
But I imagine there is one question that rises above all the others. Why were we brought here? The answer to that is simple.
In order to get Sigma to and Phi to use their time hopping abilities?
Everything that has happened here is part of our plan. All of this was required for the success of the AB project. I assume you heard the name by now, at least.
I mean, ambidex, yes. Which that's another thing, that the ambidex just means being able to use both hands equally well.
In any event, you were all needed in order to execute our plan. The nonary game was necessary for the same reason. Your question now, I imagine, is just what is this AB project?
Yes, and that looks like excessive punctuation, but I think that's correct. I actually think that a question mark should be inside the. I think that is incorrect, but I'm splitting hairs.
The answer to that is also simple. Allow me to explain. We created the AB project for one purpose: to transport the consciousnesses of two people into the past. Those two people are you, Sigma, and you, Phi.
Okay, so I was definitely right about me and Phi being the purpose, although I don't know what they mean transferring the consciousness into the past. I had actually, at one point, whenever we saw it was Kirishiki, considered the possibility that she actually might be Akane, but the thing that makes that impossible is the fact that Clover is here. Like, we know that only 2 years has gone by for Clover, so this doesn't make any sense. Without Clover, I would have considered that a possibility, because we don't really know what year it actually is. What do you mean, the past? It was out of my mouth. I realized that no one there can answer the question. Not Phi, not Timioji, and certainly not a pre-recorded hologram.
Have you figured out what this room is?
I mean, it's definitely a culmination of the rest of the game. The big question is if the puzzles are based on puzzles that I would not have seen in this timeline.
I assume you saw the Q on the door. It stands for quantum.
Okay, that makes sense.
That makes this the quantum room.
In a moment, I realized she changed subjects without even pausing. Nothing I could do, of course, but I still felt a twinge of frustration.
Take a look at the rear of the room. Do you see that large enclosure? That houses our quantum computer.
Okay, so the quantum computer was required to run the AB game simulation. The AB game is not that complicated.
The systems that control this entire facility run on that machine. That includes the construct you refer to as Zero Junior, as well as the golem.
How the hell can you know I'm going to refer to it as Zero Junior if you died before the game even began?
All of them do their thinking in that box. Isn't that strange, though? It seems contrary to how we perceive the world.
How so?
The body, the thing that you see and interact with, is somewhere else. But the mind and all its thoughts are in this box.
I mean, that's pretty normal. I don't know what you mean by that's not how we perceive reality. Unless you mean we expect Zero Junior to be in his, like, display, but I wouldn't. I know how computers work.
Perhaps it isn't so strange, though. perhaps humans are the same, with our minds and thoughts existing separate from our bodies. Our core is in our head, of course.
Okay, I can get on board with that, yeah.
We all have individual brains, think individual thoughts, and act according to individual wills. That makes communication difficult, though.
Yeah, there was a really, really interesting article I read a while ago that was kind of talking about how do you know that your interpretation of red is the same as someone else's? Because at the end of the day, we are all stuck with our individual understanding of language. And as much as we can have dictionaries and things, there's so much subtext to things that it's going to be impossible to ensure that we're communicating effectively.
So, we're forced to rely on inefficient mediums like language, photographs, nonverbal cues, etc., to transmit information. Each one of us is an individual, and we have no direct connection to anyone else. But is that really true?
Are you saying that the real purpose of the AB game was to get Fi and I to understand each other at an instantaneous level, almost like the twins in the previous game?
In the dimensions we are most familiar with, yes, it is. If we look at things from another higher dimension, however, we may all be connected after all. Like the branches of a tree, or a rhizome. Imagine a horizontal cross-section of the root system of a large tree.
Oh, we're getting back into this.
All you can see are the spots where the roots intersect the plane of your cross-section.
Right, but okay, I get where they're coming from here.
In the two dimensions you see, the roots all appear to be individual things with no connection to one another. But this isn't the case.
So are you saying that that's the... So in this analogy, are you saying that moving our consciousness back into time is what's causing a connection where none should exist? Because I have heard time referred to as the fourth dimension.
If you expand your view and look at the root system in 3 dimensions instead of only 2, you see the truth. All the roots join together at the trunk. In 2 dimensions, they appear to be separate. But if you look at the roots from a 3rd higher dimension, you see
Yeah, yeah, of course.
things that might appear to be separate from one another in 3 dimensions could be connected to one another if you look at them in 4 dimensions.
So I'm actually really surprised that Jumpydoll is still hanging around here. Like, obviously he's been looking for Akane, but also Quark is dying and he has the cure.
Doesn't that at least seem like it could be a possibility? I believe that is how human consciousness actually works. Well, I'm not the only one, I suppose. Zero and I share that belief.
Yep, the mysterious other Zero. We haven't talked about who Zero could be in a while. And what's interesting is we've basically eliminated the possibility of... Because we know that Zero's not Luna. We know that it's not K, because K is a golem. We know it's not Dio. We know it shouldn't be me. It's likely not Phi, because Phi is also the subject of this experiment. Although that in and of itself is not necessarily true, because remember, Akane was participating in the experiment to save her own life. So, Tenmyoji is definitely, at least according to him, not going to be Zero, because he's been looking for Akane, which kind of precludes the fact he hasn't been working with her. So that really leaves Clover... which Clover is the highest possibility, although Luna kind of validates Clover's story. Or not Luna, Alice kind of validates Clover's story. And who does that leave out? Oh, Quark. Quark, weirdly enough, is the most likely, although, again, if Quark is working with Akane, then why has Timiyoshi not been able to find Akane?
Morphogenetic field theory.
Timiyoshi mumbled something that sounded like nonsense. Oh, I definitely know it. I don't admit, but Akane was already talking again.
Now, when I talk about a fourth dimension, I'm referring to the fourth dimension used in Minkowski space-time. Let's start with a single dimension, where all that exists is a point. Connect points to one another, and you have a line.
Yes.
In one dimension, the only surface you can create is that, a line. But move to two dimensions and create more lines, and you can create shapes. These are two-dimensional surfaces.
Yep.
Move up to three dimensions, and you can connect these shapes to one another and form three-dimensional objects. Now you have a three-dimensional surface, which encompasses a volume of space. Connect three-dimensional objects to one another, and you formed a four-dimensional object, which encompasses a volume of both space and time.
Yep, that's what I was talking about. Time is the fourth dimension. That's exactly where they're going with this.
It is on that fourth dimensional axis that our minds are connected. If that was true, then what would prevent anyone from sending their consciousness backward or forward in time?
Comprehension?
That theory is the foundation of the AB project. The A represents after, and the B represents before.
Okay, so it's not ambidex. That makes a lot more sense, because ambidex seemed to have nothing to do with anything.
It probably sounds silly to you. A ridiculous story made up by a mad old woman.
I mean, kinda.
But look at what's happened to you. You've seen many different worlds and timelines, haven't you, Sigma?
That's, again, I get back to how much does Phi remember and is aware of all this.
And what about you, Phi? I know you have too. Am I wrong?
I wonder if she can do it as well, because, again, she knew that we would refer to it as Zero Junior before we did.
Tenmyoji should know what I'm talking about as well.
I wonder how she knew that Tenmyoji, me, and Phi would be the three in here. Like, obviously they can set it up so that the three of us have to party, but none of the puzzles in this room required cognition of the past, really. So any of the groups could have come to this door and gotten here and then been thoroughly confused.
I believe you experienced something very similar nearly half a century ago. You sent your consciousness to the past to help save a little
Okay, so
girl's
Tenmyoji
life.
is Jumpy then, is Junpei, and this is Akane. Half a century, 50 years, then what the fuck is up with Clover? Unless Clover is actually, both Clover and Luna are a smokescreen in order to throw the player off. But again, the problem with that, I brought this up before, is that you shouldn't have things in the game whose sole purpose is to confuse the player, but don't actually make sense within the context of the world. Why are they part of the experiment?
It was a long time ago, but
And what must Junpei be thinking of the fact there's a fake Clover running around? And why has that never been brought up?
perhaps you still remember.
Yeah, of course I do. How could I forget?
Didn't he at one point say something that I thought was Junpei-like, or was that Sigma that said that? I remember at some point in the playthrough, I did make a comment like, wow, that sounds like a Junpei comment. But I can't remember what the comment was or who said it.
That little girl was you, Akane.
Suddenly I felt like Phi and I were outsiders, just because something we had no right to see. Well then, the other... That kind of sucks then. That means after the original experiment that happened, Junpei and Akane didn't actually get the happy ending they should have had? That feels like a jip, actually. His face was taut with emotion as he looked into Akane's eyes. It seemed almost like she was looking back at him.
Now, unfortunately, my time is up. The final stage of the project will begin very soon. I need to go prepare. The next time we meet, I can tell you the rest of the story.
Does that mean there's another hologram, or is this also going to be a case of my ability to move my consciousness through time is going to keep her from dying somehow?
So come and find me. I'll be waiting. One last thing. The cat in the box.
Yeah, Schrodinger's cat.
Is it alive? Or is it dead? Sigma? Phi? You will decide its fate. Goodbye.
Wait! Akane, wait!
Oh, Tenmyoji. I can almost see you.
I wonder why Junpei is called Tenmyoji now.
You don't need to worry.
Is that his last name?
Everything is going to be okay.
Everything is gonna be alright.
I will see you again one day. I promise. But I'm going to have to ask you to wait just a little longer.
Wait! Akane!
And then, she was gone. He was collapsed to his knees, his back hunched and shaking. I saw tears land on the white-knuckled fist he pressed against his thighs. I kept quiet. What was there to say? Phi and I looked at one another and nodded silently. With a shaking hand, Tenmyoji pulled the photograph out of his pocket. It was a picture of a girl. After all we'd been through, her smile was enough to break your heart. We made our way to the warehouse on floor A and met up with the others. It was only a few minutes to decide to head to the infirmary. Okay, so we are at time. Here's what's going to happen, alright? The episode is either going to fade out here and we will finish it up next time, or the episode is going to fade into itself and we're going to finish up right now. I feel like this is the end of the game. However, I also know that these developers can talk on forever. And I actually have something to do in about 7 minutes. So I need to stop recording here. I'm going to come back and finish recording this in a second. But if the new recording ends up being a full 30 minutes, it'll just be its own episode. Sound fair? See you in a second, guys.